Jeremy, we're here, dude. We just did the show downstairs, and I don't know if it was more of an interview or a comedy piece that you did, but you're good on your feet, man.
Thank you.
I'm assuming it's just from all the freaking hours you have put into it.
Yeah, I guess, because we're up there on a stage, obviously, together, and there's an audience there, and so you feel the urge to entertain, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think when you do that, then when you could allow yourself to kind of be, a little candid and revealing, and then you can. It has kind of like people can take in more information that way. They can laugh, and then you can get serious, and it was a blast.
Isn't it amazing when you're kind of on stage and you're entertaining, and when you, everybody's like, not on guard, but everybody's like nervous, what Jeremy's gonna say, what's he gonna do, and then as soon as you make a joke or say something funny, like you come out for a second, real quick, the whole room is like poof, because of that ability to make someone laugh.
Yeah, I think once they know that you see them, like you're not just doing, because I remember seeing this one performer, and he was incredible, and he was so brilliant, and the audience wasn't engaged, and I was like, what's going on here? And he just didn't take the time, and he usually does, but for whatever reason, this particular one, he didn't take the time to really have that dialogue, instead of a monologue, have that dialogue with someone and see them and play off of them. And once you do that, then they feel like they're a part of it.
It's amazing because like the energy starts flowing back and forth in the room versus talking at someone or talking with someone. And it's hard on stage because they're actually not talking back, what we were just doing. They're really not talking back. But I was watching you, you're reading as you're talking, you're kind of reading the crowd and their emotions to know where to kind of give and take. It's just a talent.
Well, you were doing that too, because you've been doing it for a while now.
Yeah, you get. I've been on stage for a while, interviewing and so forth. But it's amazing because once you get the energy to flow, and then you accept it, and then start playing off of it, it changes the room. And probably within 60 seconds of you coming out, you boom had the walls open and allowing it to take off, man.
You have to.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
If we take a step back just for a second and look at Jeremy Piven, the everybody knows you as the actor. Everybody knows you as Entourage and Ari and so forth. One of the things I love to talk on the IME show is Jeremy Piven, the man, just the human, just the side that maybe a lot of people they only get to see this side of you on screen. What's something that you'd want people to know about you that is like, hey, this is Jeremy, I'm just a guy, I'm just a human that they don't ever get to see about you. That even me, like I only know you as Ari. You know what I mean? But in here, you're like a totally different person.
Yeah, everyone's got a story, and I'm a journeyman actor from Chicago that kind of grew up on the stage and performing and doing my thing, and just had that kind of journeyman mentality that like you grind, audition, get the job, do the best you possibly can. And then as an actor, you're kind of like, well, am I ever going to work again?
Yeah.
So you got to grind, get the next job, and repeat. Now, in my case, almost to a fault, where I'm not a kid anymore, and I've been doing that without stopping since I was 8 years old. So the only thing that I'll say to people, and I'm not preaching, is just I've been a bit of a slave to my ambition in terms of I've just next job. And I think if you could find some balance within that and go, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to find the love of your life. What if I started crying like a grandmother right now and sobbing and just going, why me? No. You do have to find some balance in your life, and I'm still looking for that balance.
Sure.
And I welcome it with open arms. But I know you're dealing with business folks, and they grind, and I can learn a lot from them. And today was amazing because there were some really cool interactions where guys who have written great books get up and say like, well, how have you monetized your celebrity and your reach? And I was like, I need to, my man. And he's absolutely right. And another guy saying like, why aren't you out there doing more of these? Talking more and becoming more of a businessman yourself, because I have this ability to connect
Reach.
with people.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
only the reach, but the ability to connect with people and grab their attention
Yeah.
and
Because that's true, because there's a lot of maybe, let's say, celebrities that have reach, but there's a difference between reach and connection. And I think one of the things that you have, because of the comedy and the laughter, is the connection side that naturally kind of comes to you.
yeah, you're right. And I do need to explore that lane.
Yeah, obviously there's a ton of opportunity out there that is especially in the world that we live in, right? Because business has changed so much. Used to be very corporate structure, big buildings and so forth, and now it's like with your Instagram, your social media, whatever it may be, and your reach slash engagement that you have, connections, like not connections in networks, but connections with humans. There's a ton of opportunity there, man. Let me ask you this last little question here, last two questions. Number one, if you were giving advice to a new person starting off, I'm not in acting, I have no desire to be, but there's a lot of kids out there and young people and young adults that are trying to break into it right now. What would be that, you've been in, like you said, since 8 years old, but the industry has also changed a lot in those years, decades you've been in it. What would you tell them that they should go do right now if they're young trying to get into it? What should they look at?
I think the easier part for them will be to identify the different lanes, the TikToks and the YouTubes and all these different ways to present your material.
Gotcha.
And that is a grind into itself that I respect. But I think to put the time in beforehand, even if it's taking an acting class or getting on a set, even as an extra, and watching people who you admire work and seeing their work ethic or how they prepare or whatever, being on a set, getting a sense of it.
It also makes you more comfortable just when you're around it, right? Like you're in it and you start to feel it more.
Yeah, because once you get that job, you will have a reference. Oh, I've been here before, okay.
Yeah, this is how this works, this is how this goes.
Because it's all about how do you, not all about, but one of the variables, how do you handle the moment? Can you be calm and present in that moment? So I think a lot of you say, younger people, what would I say to them? There's a generation now that's very competitive with each other because of the accessibility of information, the internet, and all this kind of stuff. So forget about competing with each other and trying to get to your goal as fast as you possibly can, because that's not what it's about. It's more about the long game, getting really good at it, because if you're focused, you're going to break through.
Yeah.
So you might as well be ready when you break through. So, take some improv classes, some acting classes, and really work on your craft and see if you can get better. Do a short film, do some of your friends' videos, and just really start to kind of work on like getting better, logging the hours, and seeing what you do best and how you can learn. Put your ego aside.
And play for that long game that's there. Last question I have for you, but getting to know you, man. One thing I want to give you a compliment. I don't know if anybody's ever given this compliment, but I just see it. Just talking to you, interviewing you, is I feel like you're, and I hope this is a compliment. Maybe it may not be, but I just see you as a highly successful celebrity that just freaking still has that kind of that blue collar, bring your lunchbox to work and grind it out. Yeah. Even though you have the success way up here, you like every film you're just the same. Bring the lunchbox and go do it. Yeah. That's how just getting to know you, man. It's the vibe I immediately picked up on you, and I hope you take that as a compliment, because that's how I feel. Like you're still a hustler and a grinder, just as you were when you're 8-year-old starting off on it, man. Yeah, so I appreciate it, man.
No, that's the way to do it, and that's the way I think. I would never compare myself to Kobe Bryant ever, because he was a master, and I was lucky enough to kind of get to know him a bit. But I remember during the game, he came over and asked me a question. I was like, what? He was always curious about learning and growing and evolving, and he would have been an incredible businessman.
Yeah.
That guy would have been one of the best.
Anything you did, probably. Last question I got for you, we'll get you out of here. On IME, it's just when it's all said and done, man, when it's all over with, you got friends, you got family, but if the world remembered you with one word, what would you want the world to remember you by, Jeremy?
One word. One
Try.
word is tough. Oh,
you can add some too if you need to.
Just that I meant it. I meant it. A lot of people like. They might. I don't know what they do.
They play business or they play acting. They're not in it. downstairs. You said it. When you go in, you're all in. That you go full in, full speed in on it. So I'm gonna go with your words. So I like it. It's mint it. MEA. Mint it. I love it, man, because it does, like, just getting to know you, man. It fully, that, like, resembles, like, just how I took you being here. Like, dude, you're just, with the time you walked in here till the time you're about to leave, you were all in.
Yeah,
totally
man.
committed. Whatever
Right.
it is, I'll go, I'm in.
When I sleep, I'm all in.
Yeah. So, dude, Jeremy, man, it's been a complete privilege.
Thank you,
I
brother.
love to have
Keep
you
up
out,
the good
man.
work. That was really fun. You're good at this.